Hey everybody, what's up? We have Mr. Dustin here. Dustin is a veteran of Major League Profits. How are you doing today, Dustin?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Now, what's the secret to getting my hair to look like that?
Yeah, what's the secret? Genetics. Got to be
Genetic. I have shitty genetics. I had to get it. I mean, you may have seen my Instagram. I got hair transplant surgery like 4 months ago because I have shitty genetics. I'll trade you my card knowledge for the hair.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm here to ask you some questions. So first and foremost, well, 2 questions in one. So when did you join the program? And then before joining the program, like what was your knowledge or like what was your experience with sports cards? Did you try it and did you fail? Did you not know much about it? You tell me.
Okay. So I've been in the program since September. So we're about a year now.
Okay.
So my experience before I would consider myself more of a collector. So I would just collect PC cards, and over the years, probably the last 30 years, I'd pick up, a handful of cards every year, guys I would like, Buster Posey, Giants guys, 49er guys, and then that kind of stuff. And since the turn, everything went up, but I wasn't looking to flip anything, just kind of grab them, hold them, not really investment, and just have them in my collection.
And then, so then what changed? Like, obviously there's something that clicked and you're like, oh, I can make money with this. Like, how did that happen?
I think it was the knowledge of, I guess, grading what's a good card. How can I get into the grading aspect? I think that's kind of what changed. I saw that if you can buy a raw card, you can maybe 4 times your money. And that was kind of the thing. But I wasn't, looking on YouTube, I wasn't super experienced on, how I needed to grade cards, where I need to grade them, why send them to that company, why send them to this company, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And then, so you've been in the program for like almost a year now, but I want you to talk about that. So like it started off kind of bumpy and then it went kind of smooth sailing. So like, tell me, like, how did that go? Like how much money recently, like talk about some of your profits, like how much you think you've made in like the past X amount of months, like talk to me about that.
Okay. So for me at the beginning, was more buying basketball graded, and then basketball had that weird turn in like October, November, December, where it just was kind of going down, especially if you bought into Zion. He was hurt. He didn't play much.
I know all about it. Yep.
Yeah. I did get in the jaw, which was nice. So at the trade show in Las Vegas in October, I did buy a lot of jaw in like September, early October. And so I was able to flip him and not do too bad at the show for baseball prospects.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of when the program kind of switched more to grading, that's kind of where I saw kind of the profits starting to come. I was more looking for grading, and I'm on Facebook a lot. I think a big thing for me was grabbing people from eBay and send them over to Instagram. So I tried to build my personal Instagram page, but that was a big thing. That was in the program, like how to take them from eBay over to Instagram, not pay the fees. And that was great for me because I took them over and then I built that relationship. So now I just have all these, I'll go through my personal messages and like, oh, I need to buy some cards, and I'll scroll down and go, oh yeah, this guy was a big football guy.
That's the way to do it.
And so that was, I know it's not the best Rolodex, but that became or it still becomes my Rolodex. And so I looked through, and so pulled them there, and then Facebook, became friends with people that did a lot of, they have cards and stuff on Facebook. So then you build relationships that way, and they kind of know what you like, and you kind of know what they like, and they'll reach.
So that's the exact way to do it, because you've been at it for a decent amount of time now. You build connections. Like you're similar to me. Like, you probably don't see me on Facebook or Instagram much because I just have people on my phone. I just text people like, hey, you got this, you got that, or I'll message people privately on Facebook. So yeah, I mean, that's the most efficient way to do it, if you could, but it takes time to build those connections. So then talk to me, like in the past, like, since you started to turn things around in like February, March, like, what do you think your profits roughly have been since then with the whole, going forward with all the grading?
Yeah. So for me, I think I kind of, at the beginning, I don't know if I was timid but I would only buy smaller value cards, 500 and below. You're scared if they don't grade or that kind of thing. So probably February, March is where I kind of switched my own philosophy with my coach Joe stuff, started buying higher end stuff. And so I said, hey, I'm going to buy higher end, and then the potential of gaining value was a lot. So then I started buying higher end bots, and was big on quarterbacks. So I bought a Joe Burrow right around the Super Bowl time. I bought it for 870 as Prism Black and looked good. Auto was bad, so I think that scared people away, but the card looked good. Sent it to PSA, and it got a 10. I didn't grade the auto, so it got a 10. So then that was a big profit.
What'd you sell it for?
I actually used that card in a trade that I just did with a Justin Herbert the Justin Herbert was red zone. That was a card that I pulled that guy from eBay over to Instagram. And it was a raw red zone. And so I pulled that one, sent that one to SGC. And I used that card with the Joe Burrow, and I traded it into a Pandora, Tom Brady, and a 4 out of 5 King Griffey Jr. and Trout, because I want to go more veterans. Just feel the value of staying there at the present moment. So that was a big trade. Off that trade alone, I probably made about $6,000.
Sweet.
So that was awesome. A big. And then the two big ones is I was able to get into an optic gold downtown of Trevor Lawrence, and I did the whole process, right? It was a connection on Facebook, bought the card, did all the thing, inspected it, sent the pictures to Joe, said, hey, what should I do? We both looked at it. There was a minor little issue. Centering was pretty good. Everything was good. So we sent it to PSA just to get the pop number right away, because nobody else has graded that card. So we did it fast. And that was kind of the thing, get these cards in fast, especially if you're going to buy, like you always said, if you're going to buy the product early, you got to get it graded fast. So bought it, graded it, came back a PSA 9, pop 1. There's no other cards graded it was only out of 10. So then I actually posted on eBay for a high figure, around 20. And then I'll be transparent. And then Alt actually put it in an offer at 15. And I tried to do that with Alt. I try to pull them off of eBay onto Instagram, which I did. And so I'm talking to them at the same time, because this is a big figure. I don't want to lose 15,000.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking to them back and forth. At this point, Alt, they don't have a process to communicate back and, to know that, hey, I put an offer in on eBay. That guy just came to me on Instagram. Let's see if we can negotiate there. Well, the Instagram department doesn't talk to the eBay department. So we don't know who you are. Like, no, we don't want to buy this card. We'd rather you consign it with us. And I was like, well, you just told me you're going to buy it for 15. And so couldn't work out a deal on Instagram. So I was like, well, I don't want to lose this deal, so end up selling it for 15,000. Pop 1. I went on eBay, so I got hit with the fees, but I felt like that was a good profit.
Yeah. And you paid what? Wait, what you paid? What again?
61. Yeah, 61.
That's solid. 6,100. Yeah. So you net like 7,000 or 8,000 profit?
Yeah, close. Yeah, about 75, 76 for Sweet. It. And it was a fast deal. Like, I think it was because I did the express with PSA. So full express. I think it was like, they didn't charge me any extra. Hopefully they don't watch this.
You got lucky.
They like 360. So I paid 360. And I don't know if it's because I went express and they're just like, oh, this guy, he's getting it back fast, whatever. So that was probably like 4 days, maybe. So bought the card, put it on eBay, graded it all within 2 weeks, and sold it probably 2 to 3 weeks. Sold, done. So
Sick.
good profit. And so that was a good one. And then I also had a splitting image optic, bought that one for 500-ish. Did the same thing. This card was beautiful. Graded a 10. So it was pop 1. And then I end up, I posted that on my Instagram page. And guy found me on Instagram, asked for it. We did a trade. I got back a Josh Allen Color Blast and 2 Waddles and $3,000. So pretty good. So I was only into that card, maybe 800, 3,000 plus the Josh Allen was like 700. And then the Waddle cards, which I have high hopes of Waddle, are 500. So, close to $4,000 on that one. Shit. So that was
that's really good. Nice. So like you're so since the grading since like February, today's September. So what's that? February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So like in what's that? 7-8 months. You've made about what? I think you told me like 50-ish.
Yeah, probably 50. And it would be a lot higher. Zion, we need him to dunk a couple times in a game. And I went heavy into Zion at the beginning. And so I'm able to hold these cards. So I'm holding them, and hopefully this season he kind of goes crazy and I can see a recoup of that.
Sweet. Well, okay. 50K, 7-8 months. That's pretty solid. And last question I'll ask you is, what advice would you give to somebody that is new into the program? What would you tell them?
Mm-hmm. And this probably, Joe never tells you this, but I'm sure he's thinking it. My coach is patience. You feel like you need to just jump on every card that you see. Just, oh yeah, it looks good. And then, there's a bad corner in the back. You didn't look, a little off centered, but you're like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll grade. It'll go up. So I would say patience, and then just knowledge. I pick Joe's brain a lot. And then I know now kind of where to look, I guess, if that's the question. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but now I know how to look from where before I didn't know, where to look, how to grade, how to clean cards, because I like to submit my own cards. I've done a couple consignment, but just me personally, it's therapeutic. I'll clean the cards, and I learn cleaning cards and that kind of stuff. But now I know where to look. I know what's important, and I know how to, where to send the cards. If a card is off-centered, or if it's got a bad corner, you might send it to this grading company over that grading company based on what that grading company is going to look for. And that's been in the program as well. And you'll kind of talk about that, thicker cards, maybe SGC, or you go to Beckett, so little stuff like that.
Cool. Well, that's some good advice, man. Patience is good. Right? I always tell people it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? It's always the number one thing I say. But yeah, Dustin, I appreciate your time, man. I know you're a busy guy, but thank you for coming on.
Okay. Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.